Yeah, live and direct from my bedroom. It is the House Arrest Podcast, EC Radio. It is Local Music Monday. How are you, people? Hope you're enjoying this day. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. So after you're done watching this podcast, get your asses outside and enjoy this beautiful day. Before we get into anything, I want to give love and respect out to my sponsors. Give big love to my man, Eddie Alsheimer and EJA Moving Services, the professional moving services. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his crew. They wear masks, they wear gloves, they got back braces, they don't swear, they're really professional. Awesome guys. Check them out, ejamoving.com. Also, big love to my friends over at Utica Coffee. They're open, go visit. They got the outdoors set up. You got to go hang out at Utica Coffee. WakeTheHellUp.com. You can find them online. Big ups to Saranac and my good friend, attorney Dave Longaretta. When you need legal help, give him a call, 315-735-6162. Dave's been bailing me out of trouble since like 1990-something, whatever. Anyways, give him a shout if you need some legal help. It is Local Music Monday. It is Z. We're hanging. My co-host, where'd he go? Did we lose him?
I think so.
We lost him. We lost him. It's all right, Ryan. I guess we're going right to Ryan Quinn then.
Here we go, baby.
1, 2, 3, 4, go. And Brian Quinn joining us today on Local Music Monday. Good to see you, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. How's things been treating you with this whole lockdown that we've been on?
It's been pretty weird. Weird, but it is weird for everybody. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Indeed. And now he's back. He's made his return. He's live from his patio. He is the Patio Daddy-O. Ladies and gentlemen, from the phenomenal band Showtime in Port Tim, give it up, Justin Smithson. How are you, buddy? Welcome back.
Somebody actually called me. Like, nobody calls me anymore. I had a phone call come in, and I tried to end it, and it ended and accepted. I'm like, I got to call you back.
Airplane mode. Put it on airplane mode. Screw it.
I'm going to do that now.
I can't put it on airplane mode because then I can't connect to you.
I got you. See, I don't know these things. I'm not a tech guy. But anyways, Ryan Quinn joining us today, man. And
what's up, brother?
Now, you guys have played together before, right? I remember, Ryan, you had the thing at the Stanley. And Justin, didn't you back him up? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we actually, I would consider myself maybe a co-producer on your album, maybe.
Yeah, I would say you and Gary produced it.
Gary and I, kind of co-produced his record, which was one of the most fun times I've ever had recording music in my life. It really was. It was incredible. And props out to Big Blue North, man. I mean, we can't give it out to those
3
guys
days.
enough, man. Jeff and Pam are incredible, and everybody knows that you know, as a local musician, everybody knows that. So,
absolutely. And they were just so, I don't know, they were so willing to. They were so excited and willing to do it. They only had like 3 days available. Yeah. They're like, we'll squeeze you in. It'll be great. Let's do it. And we did all the tracking.
It was truly incredible.
Days.
Yeah, it was truly incredible. It was just so much fun. And then, I mean, of course, the CD release party at the Stanley. I mean, that was just, you know, the best part about it is this is for Ryan Quinn, and we all ended up signing autographs after. It was really funny. I was like, I have no idea why I'm doing this right now, but sure, I'll sit here.
That was one of the highlights of my life that night.
Oh, sure, for sure, man. That picture, that video, when I don't know who took the video, but you turned around and you put your arms up like that, and it was like slow motion, and the crowd's in the background.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Gary did that.
Yeah, that was so awesome, man.
Totally.
Now, who was in that band? What was the lineup?
That was, well, me, obviously, and Justin. Dinger, Dave Wingfield.
That's your crazy uncle, right?
My crazy Uncle Dave. Joe Rossi. My buddy Sam Schiff from college. He's a great bassist from Staten Island.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's the man. And is that it?
I think that was it, brother.
That's it. Yeah.
Solid.
Great band.
I mean, you'll get a nasty gram from somebody if we forgot anybody.
Seriously. Jeez.
I can't believe you forgot me.
Ryan, take me through your journey, like the last couple of years. You've been traveling a lot. You've had you've got a lot of mileage going on lately, huh? Before quarantine, of course.
Yeah, literal mileage too. God, where should I even start? So after that show you're just talking about, I moved to Los Angeles very shortly after, like 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, I've been there pretty much full time for the last 3.5 years or so. But
it's been that long?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Maybe it's even been 4. I don't know. But it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I've met some really cool people. Like this local guy, he's not local anymore, but he grew up here, Frank Briggs. Oh, yeah. Incredible drummer. Like
805.
World class. 805, yeah, back in the day. He's like in my dad's circle of musicians. And he took me under his wing when I got there, and he introduced me to really cool people like Lauren Gold, he's the current keys player for The Who.
Oh, yeah.
Like Roger Daltrey and Townsend.
Who?
Who? What? Like, got to meet people like him. Got to work with some really great jazz musicians. Like this bassist named Hadrien Furrow. He's like a virtuoso French crazy guy. Really cool guy. And it's PMJ, Postmodern Jukebox. It's all just kind of, you know, a lot of really neat doors have opened over the past couple years. And then now I'm in New York because LA's really expensive. So here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the short version.
Well, the good thing about being back home, though, you can pick up gigs. And hey, Justin, we got to get it right out of the way. Let's do it. Say his name. Say his name.
Tim Moyer.
Tim Moyer.
Yeah,
keeping that streak intact today, baby. Keeping it intact. I think
like
we're
12 weeks now.
12 weeks in a row he has been mentioned on a Monday. But he keeps you busy, right? He keeps a couple gigs for you, and then of course you got a couple of your own gigs in your back pocket when you come home.
Oh yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's fine. LA is cool. It's so hard, even for people that are like really established musicians, to just stay afloat because LA is enormous and it's just getting more and more expensive, like even further and further out, you know? So I'm just, I was like, I'd rather like be somewhere else and fly into LA for opportunities and then fly back out somewhere.
Well, yeah, so at least you made those connections. You made those connections. So now you can just go whenever you want. Yeah.
Totally. Mm-hmm. And, you know, scoping out Nashville, I was there for 5 weeks recently because I was on my way back to New York. I had booked a bunch of gigs from, you know, before the pandemic happened. I booked gigs from the beginning of April through the end of August. And I packed all my stuff up, gave a lot of stuff away, packed my car, drove across the country.
Wow.
After 3 days of driving, I hit somewhere in Missouri. And then I realized how big of a deal the pandemic really had become. I was watching the news in some like little dive bar or something. And I tried to buy hand sanitizer and I couldn't even buy it in like rinky-dink, you know, tiny town Missouri. Yeah. So then it was like, this is really real. So I'm going to just stay in Nashville because I was on my way there first. I stayed there with a friend for like 5 weeks. So I didn't have to come back and stay with my folks and like endanger them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So Nashville was great. I was there like a week after that tornado happened.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. My buddy Matt lives there. He's a lawyer down there and he, like the street next to his was just flattened, but he was fine. Like his whole street was okay. Wow.
It's amazing how it does that, you know?
It's unbelievable. Like jumps over houses on the same street and stuff. But it was really good demonstration of how supportive the Nashville community is. Yeah. You know, like those are some really hardworking, solid people down there. Yeah. So that wouldn't be such a bad place to end up.
Right. Yeah. No, I've heard that definitely because I mean, you know, everybody that thinks that, you know, I want to make it in the music industry and they think New York, they think LA, you know, and they always think that Nashville is strictly country, but that's not true anymore. Right. I mean,
definitely not. It's definitely the prominent genre, but there's so much other stuff going on too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I met a few guys from Nashville, and I'd love to get down there just to hang out because there's tons of open mic nights and stuff, and you can get heard. But like you said, very very tight knit, close community. It's almost like a small town vibe down there, you know.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It reminded me of upstate New York in a few ways.
Sure.
Like, unless you're down on like Broadway, which is like, you know, Broadway's like the big like. There's a bar every 10 feet street. Where there's music at all hours of the day and night. If you're not there, it's super small town.
Right.
And it's still like fingers crossed and knock on wood, it's still kind of affordable to be there, you know? Yeah. And just the overall vibe reminded me kind of like out by Oneonta way.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to take a ride down there definitely just because, but you know, you know, I'm hoping obviously the best for you as always, and I hope that that you get it, you know, get settled down there and get, you know, if you can get down there, get settled down there, and you know, I think that you'll have a lot more success down there just based on the fact that it's not as congested. I say with like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of musicians down there, but you know, it's not like, you don't have bars going, so you got to bring in 45 people tonight, and then you're gonna get 5% of the door, and if you don't bring in 45 people, then don't call us again. You know, that seems to be how LA and New York is now these days. And you know, you might have a bar owner that, you know, is, you know, walking the strip in Nashville and happens to see you on an open mic night and be like, I need you at my bar. You know what I mean? So like, it's still that, you know, it's still not quite over the top yet, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the general vibe I got too. And LA has some beautiful venues and stuff, but it is brutal. Like,
yeah.
It is just brutal. Like, getting people to do anything in a city that's big, you know, that's like to come to see you when there's like a billion things they could be doing. That's hard.
Yeah.
So Nashville's more about the music, whereas LA's more about the
look,
the look and the fame, the look, the brand, the fame.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yes,
it's not really about the substance behind the music. It's what you look like and how many likes you got on Facebook.
Sure. And I mean, they got so many things in the studio now that, I mean, look at, I noticed that when Paris Hilton decided she was going to do an album, and I was like, wait, what? And then she comes out with this album and it sounds like a pop singer, and you know she can't sing. And then I found out there's this thing called Melodyne that you can actually, like, there's a program called Melodyne on Pro Tools that you can, it's a plugin, and you can actually put their voice wherever they sing to the note you want it to be, and it sounds natural. So you can make these people sound like pop singers, and they could be completely tone deaf, a la Paris Hilton, and have music, you know?
Totally.
Just because she wanted to do that. And of course she has the fame, and she has, you know, she had the look at the time or whatever. But,
and she had the porno video too.
The porno, yeah.
That too.
That's all you need apparently in LA.
So if you could shoot porn, you could make an album, right? That's how.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want in LA. You make porn. Come on now.
I'm sure Ron Jeremy has an album out there somewhere.
Probably a couple. Yeah. Wow.
He's doing Isaac Hayes covers right now.
Yeah. No, but you know, the musicians are flocking to a couple different places. They're flocking to Nashville. They're flocking to Austin, Texas, and then like
all huge too.
Yeah, and then all the broken down like hair bands are all flocking to Vegas because they're fleeing from LA.
Sure.
And they're all going to Vegas because it's Nevada's pretty cheap to live too. So it's those are little hot pockets right now going on in the music community for sure. Have you got out to Austin at all, Ryan?
I've played there before, and I made sure to stop there across when I drove to LA when I first moved there. And then I played a one-off gig 2 years ago and stopped and saw. Do you guys know Hans Storsberg?
Yes, I do.
You know him? You know Hans?
How do I know him?
He was a part of the Kelly's Christmas thing, right?
I did the instrumental with him. He did
Yes. Really cool guy, right?
Yes, very cool guy.
He's from Oswego, I think, and he's
super talented.
Really talented singer, songwriter, guitarist, acoustic player, just really good, and just such a cool, eclectic guy. He moved down there, and now I think he lives in Santa Fe or something, but I made sure to see him. But Austin's such a beautiful place.
Yes,
and I played there with PMJ. This girl that I do backup vocals with sometimes, Aubrey Logan, she's a jazz pop artist. She plays trombone, really quirky. She's really cool.
Nice.
She just decided to move from LA to Austin 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So even for somebody that's doing jazz pop with trombone, it's very she's done really well in Austin. So it's not even just Stevie Ray Vaughan guitar music either.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think that all these places got kind of pigeonholed, in a sense that I think that's why, especially Austin and Nashville, there's still room for people to go there because Austin isn't just Stevie Ray Vaughan blues and Nashville's not just country, you know what I mean? And these places like Vegas is not, it really isn't just 80s hair band. You could be a dance band. Look at the Shintas they were still
DJs too in Vegas. It's a DJ town.
DJs,
a lot of electronica.
But I mean, all these people, they all go to LA and New York, and they leave room for the rest of us to be like, hey, all right, let's go to Nashville, let's go to Austin, and you can actually do well there. Like you said, jazz, pop, trombone. I mean, who would have thought? But there's a niche for everybody, I guess.
Totally. Absolutely.
Ryan, I want to know more about Postmodern Jukebox. I've seen it. They've been around for a long time. Like, let's start with you. How did you get mixed up with them? And then what's your role into it? Like, you go in and out of songs. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I think meeting Scott Bradley was the most Los Angeles stereotypical thing that happened to me when I was there. So Frank Briggs introduced me to Lauren Gold, that guy I mentioned, the keys player for The Who, right? Mm-hmm. He and I, played a lot of music together, and we went to record a cover in this beautiful studio in like Calabasas or something, right?
Yeah.
The guy that owns the studio, his name's Snuffy Walden. Snuffy Walden composed countless themes of TV shows in like the 80s and the 90s, and
his name sounds like he did.
Right? Snuffy.
What a great
Snuffy
name.
Walden. Right, he's such an interesting guy. But after we were done recording, he was talking to me and was like, you ever hear of Postmodern Jukebox? I'm like, yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, sure. It's like, you want to work with him? Sure. Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, I'll hook you up with somebody. And he gave my number to Scott Bradley, the guy that invented Postmodern Jukebox.
Yeah.
And then Scott reached out to me within like a couple of days, and a week or two later, I recorded a video with him. And that's it. Just, I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy. That's how it happened. But then...
Talk about cliche Los Angeles, right?
Exactly. But the thing with PMJ is they have such an enormous roster of musicians. It's really cool. So like, they go out on so many tours, and they can have like up to 3 bands touring simultaneously when there's not a pandemic, obviously. And, Scott kind of oversees all of it, but then they have like their individual music directors, and, it's really cool. They change it up every time they go out on tour.
That's like, that's almost like Nick and the Nice Guys up here in Rochester.
Okay. So it's just kind of a journey through a lot of different music, right? A lot of different rock and roll type of stuff.
Is that Nick and the Nice Guys, or is that
no? Nick and what I was with the point I was making with that was that they're Nick and the Nice Guys. There's like I don't know, they have different bands all over the country, and not really. I think it's regionally, but maybe it is a country. I don't know, but they have different bands, and like you get a phone call like you're part of Nick and the Nice Guys. They need a band in such and such a place. You get the phone call and you go. I mean, it's a little bit more structured, I think, with Postmodern Jukebox, where you're the lead singer of this band, and you're part with this musical director in this band, and then am I right with saying that, Ryan?
Kind of. PMJ is interesting because it's people come out to see PMJ, and like their whole thing for people that might not know what they are, I'll just explain really quickly. Scott Bradley is a great pianist, a jazz background, and he takes songs that people know, usually pop tunes or like really famous rock songs or soul songs or whatever, and kind of like flips them on their head. He was one of the pioneers of doing that on YouTube like years ago. And he made a name for himself turning, whatever pop song into like a classic, like ragtime tune. And then it's kind of, over the years, it's kind of morphed into different things. Like I did a version of Taylor Swift's Me as like a yacht rock song with this girl Sarah Nimitz. Right? So like that's that kind of shit. It's great. Sure. But what he does is people come to see them, and they sell out these huge theaters. They sell out like the Paramount Theater in Seattle was like almost sold out to come see PMJ. Wow. And people just come because they love the songs and they love the arrangement. And it's a really cool niche market. So it doesn't really matter what the lineup is. It's the arrangements that draw people in.
Of course, yeah. And he's in charge of all the arrangements.
Yeah. Like I'm sure by now he has some assistants because they've grown to such like a huge degree, but he's the mastermind.
Wow.
So I mean, like I've sang songs that Casey Abrams does, and someone else sings songs that I do, and yeah,
it's so cool.
How big of a production is that when you're on the road with them?
It's pretty big. I mean, there's the bus. I think there were 15 people on a tour bus.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Close quarters, but everyone's cool.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, there's usually like either 4 or 5 singers, and then there's pretty big band, like drums, bass, sometimes guitars or banjo, then at least 2, probably 3 horn players, and then a keyboard player. So it's a pretty big production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds so cool, man. Oh, that's always been my dream, is just to be on the road once, just to do like one tour. That's all I want to do, is just one tour. You know, with that whole thing, like playing in nice theaters for, you know, our big festival or something. You know what I mean? Like just one time. That's all I want. One time.
Well, Justin, if I ever do it on my own, you're coming with me. How does that sound?
I appreciate that, Ryan. Definitely.
All right, you heard it here. We got it documented, bro. We got it documented.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dude, I just want to be Dinger's bunkmate, though. That's all I care about. I just want to be hanging with Dinger the whole time, man.
Oh yeah, wouldn't have it any other way, man.
I love that, man.
So do I. He's like a freaking genius.
Absolutely. I got to tell you, the first time I ever met Dinger, and I know this is supposed to be about Ryan Quinn right now, but the first time I ever met Dinger, we did the first time Liberty DeVito came into town. When Keith had his students and they all played Billy Joel songs, we played at MV. And Dinger had just gotten off tour with a Billy Joel tribute band. And Kelly was like pushing me to learn all the lead parts. We were gigging a lot. I'm like, I'm trying. And then all of a sudden he's like, Dinger's going to come in and do it. I'm like, awesome. I'll just play rhythm guitar. This is great. And like he walks in and like he was the lead guitar player of this Billy Joel tribute band that just got home from Japan. And now he's playing with Billy Joel's drummer, you know, with us. And he's playing all these parts exactly the way they're supposed to be, because that's what he's done for the past year. And I was like, this is incredible, man. This dude is amazing. And he's just like, he's one of those guys. He was like, you know, the glasses sit down here on his nose and he just kind of looks like this. But, you know, it's like, it's so funny. Like he's an incredible person and an incredible artist, incredible talent. And it's great to see you and him play together, Ryan. It really is. Like when you two get together and play, it's just it's very enjoyable to watch.
He's one of the few people I know that's as neurotic as I am. So it's, we're a good match, you know.
That's hilarious. Since we're on the subject of forming bands, I've been asking this question a lot to a lot of the musicians. Ryan, what would be your fantasy band? And everybody has to be living right now. No dead people. Everybody has to be alive right now. What's your fantasy band?
Whoa. So like singer, guitarist, bassist, drummer?
Whatever you want. You can have horns. You can have whatever you want, man. It's your band. You pick the lineup. You pick whoever you want. Wow. Who are you picking from?
Well, it's hard because all my favorite people are dead. So
I'm with you on that.
But let's see, who isn't dead?
Well, that's why I make it specific, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's tricky, right? So I would definitely have, maybe I'd have Sting as my bassist because he can sing so well and write such good music. Then I'd have Stevie Wonder playing keys and singing. That'd be an interesting pairing.
You can just stop there if you want.
That's a good enough duo. I'll just sit there and look at them. That'll be my role in the band. Sting, Stevie Wonder, and then guitar. Who would play guitar? Lukather or Landau, probably.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Steve Lukather or Michael Landau. I think so.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You just made his day.
Absolutely. You know what? Because the reason is, like, Ryan knows music. And here's the thing. Nobody gives love to Steve Lukather ever. Because they're like, Steve who? And they're like, okay. And like, everybody's like, I'm like, he plays a Toto. Like that, really quiet. But I'm like, but him and Toto also recorded Thriller. And they're like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. Oh, they did Thriller? Okay. You know, and then like then maybe they get a little bit of love. You know what I mean? But this dude's been on records that you could not even imagine. And like he's just disgusting. So anyway, continue. Go ahead.
He's just an all-around fabulous musician and a hilarious person. He's
yeah. Did you get to meet him?
No, but I read the majority of his book that he put out.
Oh yeah. If you get a chance to, you gotta read it, man.
Yeah.
He's absolutely hilarious.
I grew up with, my dad loves just really like, my dad has always appreciated just like masters in music. So I grew up just like really liking virtuosity and like mastery and stuff. But Michael, do you know Michael Landau at all?
Oh yeah, well that's who Lukather got a lot of his what do they call that? Motivation, not motivation. His
inspiration.
Inspiration. Yeah, he got a lot of inspiration through Landau, and because they were friends.
Yeah.
He learned a lot from Landau because the way the Landau played, like Lukather had all the flash and he had all the speed, but Landau had that nice melodic, like jazzy type feel to him, and Lukather always strived for that. And I mean, I think he's got it now, but he always like worked to get there. So yeah, Landau's incredible.
Landau was the I saw him at the Big Potato Jazz Club in Studio City. It was my favorite show I've ever seen in my whole life. He's such a freak.
Yeah, sure.
He's unbelievable, and he's so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me tell you something. He's very like, and he just does something really weird and goofy, and then he just like blows you away.
Sure.
It's really funny. But I think those three.
Yeah, I mean, Baked Potato's like the size of Dick Smith's, isn't it? The place is tiny.
Yeah.
It's
maybe even smaller.
Yeah, and all these guys. Are you familiar with the Baked Potato?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay.
This is all Baked Potato's new to me.
Dude, the Baked Potato in LA, it's like when all these guys get off tour, they're like, I want to play a club gig. And then they just get a bunch of their friends together and they're like, we're going to call ourselves Toxic Monkey. And we're going to play a gig. And we're going to advertise it as that. We're not going to tell anybody who's in the band. We're just going to advertise ourselves as Toxic Monkey, which this is a Steve Lukather story because he did this. But, I'm sorry. He went as Toxic Monkey out from someplace else. Nerve Bundle was the name of his band when he went into
Nerve Bundle.
Yeah, and like there's
great name.
It's all these great musicians when they got off tour, they create these weird names and they go and they play the Baked Potato, and then like word of mouth they'll go, oh, did you hear Steve Lukather's playing there this weekend? Did you hear Michael Landau's playing there this weekend? You know, and that's kind of how it works out. Like they come with these weird names, and then like they show up at this place that, like Ryan said, is smaller than Dick Smith's. And if you can get in there, it's freaking amazing. You know what I mean? You hear world-class musicians play a club date, you know, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's there's nothing like it. It's pretty incredible.
You're amping me up right now. I want to go to LA next time you go just to ride along.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Ryan, who's your drummer in this fantasy band?
Oh, jeez.
I don't think you picked the drummer yet.
I didn't pick it. You're right.
Stevie Wonder, Sting, and you got.
Maybe I'll have both of those guys, Steve Lukather and Landau, as rhythm lead.
Have them both.
Hell yeah!
This your band, brother.
Ooh, and then drumming.
Simon Phillips.
Simon's awesome.
You got to have Frank though. You got to have Frank Briggs.
Briggs is awesome. Maybe Weckl. Maybe Dave Weckl.
Come on.
Yeah.
The drummer's hard though. I mean, there's so many great drummers. I mean, you could have Carlock and Greg Bissonette. I mean, there's so many great drummers. You know,
I would choose Keith Carlock. I would pick Keith Carlock, actually.
You know what though? You could do like a Grateful Dead thing and have two drummers.
There you go.
Let's do this. Dave Weckl and Keith Carlock.
Oh my God. Out of control.
So wait, who's Weckl? I don't know this Weckl guy.
Okay, Dave Weckl is how do you explain Weckl? He's just like a crazy, scary monster drummer. He can play anything basically. He's on.
Sure,
he goes on. Or Vinny Colaiuta, like he's like that guy.
Yeah,
they can play with.
They're all studio musicians. They're like if you need a drummer, man. If you need a drummer and you're in LA and you're calling these guys, you know, Weckl's a little bit off the cuff. Like if you're a progressive, like, you know, I would say like off the, like your music's not straight pop. You call Weckl. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's where I go with that.
Maybe I'd go with Colaiuta just because he plays more straight ahead stuff too.
Sure.
But these guys are all just incredible musicians that play with everybody from like, you know, James Taylor. And then they have like these crazy like side projects that would play at a place like the Baked Potato that are like really out for people that are into that. Like really complex, interesting things that they just kind of use as a musical release because they're playing, you know, straight ahead pop all the time.
Right.
But just really capable people.
Yeah, Rich Redmond does that a lot when he's in Nashville. He'll play a lot of different club dates and stuff because, you know, he plays with Jason Aldean, and that's all he does is play country music all the time. So he'll go and play a rock gig in Nashville. You know, a lot of those guys do that because, I mean, you know, they do what they do to make money. And then, you know, it's almost like John Mayer when he came out and he, you know, had to do the pop thing for a little while. And then he was like, you know, but my roots and my love is blues. And so, you know, he went and made, you know, $10 million, he was like, fuck everybody, I'm doing blues now.
Yeah. Now he's with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what he's doing now?
Yeah, Dead and Company.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
He's the lead guitar player, lead singer with Bob Weir. I mean, he plays all the Jerry parts, sings all the Jerry parts. It's great. He does great.
And the Deadheads love him.
They love him.
Wow.
Yep. They absolutely love him. Everybody was kind of like, you got John Mayer? What? And then they heard him the first time that all the Deadheads heard him. They were like, oh, yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I got some of my buddies that are faithful Grateful Dead listeners, and they swear by John Mayer is like the second coming right now. So it's cool. It's a cool little mix. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Justin?
As a matter of fact, since this pandemic's been going on, I've been watching a lot of videos, and I'm the weird guy. I'm the guitar player that watches drum videos. I don't know why, but that's just what I do. But so like you name drummers, I know them all because I'm just watching it all the time. But like I started seeing Dead and Company's been doing like live previous live shows. Obviously, they've been putting on Facebook. You know what I mean? So I'll pop in and watch them, and I'm not a huge Deadhead, but I dig the music, and so like I'll get like 25 minutes into a song, and I'm like, they don't seem like they're stopping at all. So I'll like stop and go back, and like 45 minutes to an hour later, they're still playing the same song. So I feel like I didn't miss anything, But anyway, the thing for me was that like hearing him sing the popular Grateful Dead, like they let him sing a little bit of Touch of Grey, and like he's doing a lot of the popular stuff. But what it seems to me is that Jerry Garcia was known for if you're familiar with theory at all, most people play in the Dorian mode, like they do a lot of the pentatonic scales on the guitars and stuff. And Jerry Garcia like flipped everything around when he played with the Dead, and he plays like almost entirely in the Mixolydian scale with everything. And so like it completely, like when you listen to him play, it's a whole different, like it opens your brain to this whole new way of thinking as a guitar player because of the way he plays. And I think that's why John latched onto him so much when he did, because it's just it's not that straight ahead blues scale or the straight ahead pop scale. It's this weird thing, and like to start to play in solos in the Mixolydian is just you have to open your brain to a whole new realm to play that kind of thing. So
you know what they call that? LSD.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's what opened up their brain.
If Jerry Garcia was alive right now, I think he'd be like, mix of what? He probably has no idea. I mean, maybe he did because Jerry Garcia was an incredible musician, and I'm not giving him enough credit right now. But I mean, guys like that, it's so funny listening to them because they're like, I have no idea what I'm playing. It just sounds good. All the guys that are like virtuosos, they act like they don't know what they're talking about. They're like, I got no idea, man. I just play what I feel. And like, it's perfection. You know what I mean? And then, But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here, guys. Okay, you start talking about Steve Lukather and all these different guitar players and sick drummers, and like I forget that Ryan Quinn is here. Everybody, Ryan Quinn is on our show, and I'm very excited about that.
Hi, guys.
Ryan, have you been writing since we've been on lockdown? You've been writing any music at all?
A little bit here and there. I'm so strange. I'll just leave it at that. But I have a hard time singing and playing music, and especially writing music when I'm not alone. So unless I'm performing, then it's different to sing. But I have a hard. That's I don't really do live streams. I haven't been doing them because I just feel weird. Like I'm in my parents' house right now, and it's close quarters. Before that, I was with my friend and his girlfriend, in a small house. I just feel weird about it. So unless I can really get in the zone, I just don't do it. I don't know why. It's just how I am, I guess.
I had that same feeling when this thing first started and people started doing the live streams, and I felt really weird just sitting in front of a camera, and I tried to switch it up a little bit. I started going live right before our show here with Z, and after a couple weeks, you kind of start getting used to it. And then I just had a gig last week by myself and in front of people. And if you can believe this, after 10, 11 weeks of not playing in front of people and playing in front of a phone, it felt weird to play in front of people.
Totally. I just played in front of people yesterday, and it was really strange.
So weird. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'm starting to get kind of used to the whole, like I haven't been doing the live streams really, but I've been doing like, you know, we make like a video compilation of a few songs and send it in, and you can do like 34 takes if you want to of a song.
Yeah.
You know, but like to get out there and sing for 3 hours, you know, and just be on your toes again. It's a little scary.
Yeah, my throat was hurting after that 3 hours. So I did 3 hours, and I'm like, man, I can't. This is really rough.
So
I'm not used to this.
You got to be gig ready, right? I mean, that's a real thing. Shaking off the rust. You could play in your house and screw up a few times, start the song all over again. But if you're not gig ready, man, you got to step up a little bit, right?
Dude, nothing's going to make you ready for singing for 3 hours unless you're singing for 3 hours on a regular basis.
Right.
That's and if this makes any sense, Showtime has played together 3 times since this pandemic started.
Wow.
Like in our practice room and did recordings 3 times. That's all.
Wow.
And it's summer. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Sadly, I can.
Let me ask you guys too. Do you still have gigs on the books right now, or?
Yeah. I mean, we got. Yeah.
Like, are you keeping your fall gigs and stuff like that?
Go for it, Justin.
Oh yeah. I mean, fall gigs right now are still in. Summer gigs were like, it was so funny. They were all canceled. And then all of a sudden, they came down and said, "Oh, we can have outdoor seating now." And within, like, it started on a Thursday. And I think Thursday night, Joe and myself, because Joe books for Showtime, and you know, Sean books for Port Tim, and I book for Port Tim and myself. I think I got, 4 or 5 phone calls that night. Joe got 15 phone calls that night. I mean, like, people just are like, okay, everything we did that we said was canceled is not anymore. You guys still in? You know, it was kind of like one of those things, like, hurry up and get everybody you can, because, you know, if it's going to start opening up, then, you know, they want to make sure they have entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work out, because, I mean, yeah, it's a bummer. I literally moved across the country with the, you know, I had booked so many gigs every single week between the beginning of April and the end of August. And it's a bummer, but like, I get it. I understand, obviously, like, everybody's in this position. And I was wondering if they were going to want entertainment immediately just because their income is suffering so much.
Yeah.
You know, but it's really cool to see that places like Villa Verona Vineyard, like, I just played there yesterday, and that was such a cool setup. I don't know if you've ever been there, Z, but it's like really beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
I have to check it out. Moira was telling me about it, that I need to go check it out. And it's cool. They're opening it up. You do it like an outdoor thing, right? And people come up and they can hang out by the cars. Is that what they're doing over there?
Yeah. At first, I think it was people just stayed like in and around their cars in this big old parking lot. But now, like, I mean, it's a vineyard, right? So there's a bunch of land, like green space, that people can bring their own chairs to now. There's outdoor seating. So you just play on a deck and just sing out. And I don't know where did you play, Justin, the other day? Where were you?
I played at Cavallo's.
How are they doing that?
I played, now it's really funny because I played upstairs on the deck, and you know, this whole pandemic, it's so funny because whenever they say, okay, these people can open now, it's like there's no, like, these people can open, but these are the guidelines. You know what I mean? So, like, they're not very particular about it. The one guideline there was, though, is because Noel at Cavallo's has a permanent roof on the structure in the deck. That meant that it was still considered an outdoor venue. However, they couldn't serve anything like beer, liquor, anything over the bar. So I'm sure that Cavallo's, they've had their liquor license for 300 years. So they have, I mean, I'm sure it covers a certain amount of space. So they did a makeshift bar down by the garage in the back, like where you enter to go up into the dining area. And they put like a makeshift bar there, what you could do is you could go down to that bar, you could get a bucket of beer and bring it back upstairs. And, you know, but people, they were so, like, I have to give props to all local businesses. Anybody that can do what the state is requiring them to do right now is so tough. And what Cavallo's did that night was great. I mean, there's signs everywhere that said, you know, you have to wear a mask unless you're sitting down, and this is what's happening. And everything was laid out. You know, bathrooms had signs. You need to wear a mask in the bathroom. Make sure you have your mask on if you're standing. If you're sitting down with the people you're with, then you don't have to wear a mask. And that's how they did it, you know, because it's outdoor seating, and they figure that being outdoors, it dissipates whatever. And it was a really good night. It really went very well, and they booked me the night before because they just found out the night before that they could open. So they literally booked me the night before, and I played the first night they were open on the back deck. So that was another fun thing for me, you know. And I'm happy that they called me. You know, Frank Cosmo heard me sing. That was amazing.
Did he?
I saw the exchange you guys had on Facebook. Actually,
it was so cool. Funny because I'm friends with him, and he, of course, has no idea who I am. But he accepted my friend request, and he came in and took a picture. He's like, "I'm listening to music at Cavallo's. This is great. I have no idea who the guy is, but he's really good."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "It's me, Fran. Thanks for the love."
I have never met him before.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy, you know, and he's definitely been through it. And he just got off tour. They were supposed to be on tour with all the gods of rock or whatever they call them. And speaking of Toto, Bobby Kimball was on tour with him, who now has dementia. And I don't even know if he's on tour with them anymore, but he can't save his life anymore, which sucks. But drugs are bad,
he's like kids. Deaf, isn't he?
Yeah, he's deaf, and drugs have really destroyed him. So he's not as good as he used to be. Plus, he's getting in trouble, like locking himself in the bathroom after he hit somebody with his cane, some shit like that. He got arrested for that. Yeah, it's just not good. So, but the rest of the guys are friends on tour. He's doing Boston stuff, and the rest of the guys, they're all doing like all the stuff that they used to do, and they're selling out places left and right. So I mean, he's working hard, and then when the pandemic hit, you know, he stopped working, so now he's back home, just, you know, hanging out and watching local music, I guess.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that.
Guy's a local legend.
Yes, he sure is.
Local legend for sure, man. Big ups. We got to give him on Local Music Monday.
Absolutely.
Okay, we didn't check in on some of these comments, and there are some comments out there.
Ooh.
And maybe we should get to it. Our man Moyer is saying that you do a version of "Since You've Been Gone" by Kelly Clarkson, and he says it's pretty. Says it's pretty killer. Is that on PMJ? Do you do that with them?
Yeah, I did that with PMJ. It's yeah, it's kind of like an old R&B version of it, right?
Oh,
so
cool.
like, I wasn't the guy that did the original video for it, but I went on tour and did a version of it, and it was my favorite thing for sure that I've done with them.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What else you got, Z?
Okay, so you'll like this one. And actually, this is a great idea too, but Isaac's checking in, Isaac French. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Isaac, Ryan, but Isaac's saying that you guys should co-write together, and I would love to hear something come out of the both of you.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
Let's do this, Ryan. I'm in.
Absolutely.
And if
all
we
three
get
of us, let's do it.
Dude, if we get stuck, we just got, you know what, screw it. Let's just do the three of us. Be like a songwriting trio.
Yeah,
let's
Isaac,
just
come
do
in.
it.
Yeah.
That
I'm
would
very
be
slow
amazing.
with my words. I'm slow with words. So, Isaac, if you're good with lyrics, that would be great.
Oh, my God, I'm slow with words, too. How are we going to do this?
Well, I like instrumental music sometimes.
Sure.
And just jam and let it come to you, brother.
Yeah.
We'll have the next prog rock band, but only instrumentals.
No, you know, so much amazing talent out there. Who else would you collaborate with locally?
There is. There are.
You got anybody on your radar?
People. Who else would I collaborate with locally? Well, let me think of who else there is to collaborate with that I haven't already collaborated with.
That too. You got that.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to sing a song with ZZ.
Yeah, I was just literally at the tip of my tongue before you said that.
Can we make that happen?
Yeah, that'd be great. And also,
we had her on last week too. We said the same thing. We told her we want to see her sing with you.
Oh, really?
Didn't I say that I wanted to do like the duets for the 80s?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's not like even the Disney stuff, like all the Disney stuff, the duets, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I can show you the world. You know, like do all this stuff.
Yes. Oh, I would love that. And you know what? I haven't, I know her fairly well, but I haven't really ever sang with her. Cassidy.
Oh my God. It'd be insane to hear you two sing together. It really would. Plus, you know, she's always looking for keyboard players. So, I mean, you play the piano exceptionally. So, like, you guys should set something up where you do a gig together where you play the music and then you guys can sing together. You know what I mean? It would just be insane.
That would be really fun.
Oh, God.
I can... Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just. I'd also like to sing with Cassidy. Yeah, I
for
she's
sure.
great too. You know,
You guys have done something before, right? I'm pretty sure I saw a video out there. You guys doing something at like a convention or something, right?
we haven't like formally done anything together. Like that was at a conference for like a college circuit. So like they have like open mics where it's kind of like a small showcase. So I just go up there and play piano or something or guitar, and she'd come up and sing a song with me, or vice versa.
Right.
But nothing formal.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of
amazing.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of performing with her a few times, and yeah, she's quite the talent, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to the ZZ thing. I'd like to see you and her do a piano lounge bar. You dressed all nice, and she'd be in like a red dress, like a piano bar type of thing, old school style.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, from like a roaring 20s type of party.
Oh yeah.
That's my idea of the day right there.
I
like that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That was just some sassy old jazz, like old school standards and like ragtime type of stuff, and you know,
like a turquoise tiger.
Yeah, exactly. Do they have a piano? They have a piano over there, right? That'd be perfect for that over there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, indeed. One thing you should check out too. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Justin. Is the Yes Darling with Ryan Montbleu and Haley Jane?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I've heard about it.
It's very cool. It's very funny. It's creative. It's very cool. It's very vaudevillian. It's got this old school vibe to it. And check it out. It's funny. They talk about driving down the road, arguing, and it's just a couple that bicker back and forth type of thing. It's
sure.
Very cool and creative. Check it out. It's called Yes, Darling. Hey, Ryan. So are you are putting out music as far as like little clips of videos? Are you putting them out often? Are you just doing them randomly or?
Yeah, well, so going back to me being the way I am, I suppose, I want to be doing them as often as possible.
Yes.
If I lived in a place where it was either like soundproof or I had like a little studio, like a legit one, where like I wasn't surrounded by people all the time, I would just sit and sing and write and play and record music every day, all day. Like I would do that for sure. And I will do that when I'm not at my parents' house. But yeah, whenever I have some time to myself, I go up and try to do something productive in that way and put it out whenever I can. Yeah. But
they got from mom and dad though for you, right?
Oh my God, I know. So grateful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. A lot of people don't have a place to go. So no, it's like.
Well, plus, I mean, your dad was in the business too, so he gets it. He understands like where you're at right now. You know what I mean? And like, you have to, be able to get, you got to be able to figure out what the hell you're doing when you come back up here. You know what I mean? And like, what's going to happen in your life? And he's been through that before, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
My dad's a great drummer.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, my parents have been so supportive of me pursuing music.
Did he play with Cassidy's dad? Did he play with Pickle?
Yeah. Yeah, they were in a band called Driving Sideways together.
Driving Sideways, that's right. Yep.
That's where he met Dinger, my crazy Uncle Dave. That's where they met. Paul Case was in that band.
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an all-star band, man. I'm telling you right now, if Ryan, if you got recordings, you got to get them on like digitally so I can hear that, because I've never heard them.
I'm sure they're around here somewhere.
I need to hear it.
I got to find them.
Because that's like an all-star band right there. That's literally like, Asia.
Do you and your father get to play it all together?
We don't play too much together. No. Not really. No, because he's worked for Alpha Publishing for a while, and he works for Vic's Lithograph now. And he just doesn't play that much anymore. He still loves music and drumming, but we don't really play too much. But whenever we do, it's great.
Oh, sure.
I want to persuade him to come do some gigs on percussion with me.
That would be amazing. Like to see him sit like on a cajon, like play with you and stuff. Yeah, dude, that'd be insane.
Yeah, that would be insane.
And that dinger too.
Totally. Yeah.
The whole family, man. It'd be like the Ryan Quinn family band.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, bud, the one thing I wanted to do today, and I wanted to plead to you, because I want to make this happen really bad. I'm going public with another idea. Well, it's not really an idea. It's something you've already done before, but I would love for you to do it here in Central New York, maybe at the Stanley. I know a couple people there. We might be able to get it in there. I really want to see you do the Chris Cornell tribute. Full-on rock band, the whole nine. I'm dying to see it. I mean, when you did, what was it, Hunger Strike? Or Say Hello to Heaven, right? Say Hello to Heaven.
Say Hello to Heaven, yeah.
Oh, that song gave me chills, man, when you sang it. And every time you do a Cornell song, it just can you please come do that show here in Utica?
I would love to do that.
Dude, what was the night at the gig? Did we do a Cornell song, a Soundgarden song when it was you, me, Joe, Jose, and Gary?
Yeah, we did Hunger Strike and Say Hello to Heaven.
Hunger Strike and Say Hello to Heaven. We played freaking More Than a Feeling.
That was
unbelievable. That show
was
awesome.
Nuts. Yeah.
Dude, I just want to put it forward right now, okay? I want to get that lineup back, and we'll do the Soundgarden tribute, Chris Cornell tribute. Let's do it. Let's get that lineup back. Joe, Jose, Gary, me, you. Let's just make it happen.
There we go.
I would love to do that. I really would.
I'm in.
I do like the whole spectrum. Don't do just Soundgarden. Do some Audio Slave, Temple
Audio
Slave,
Slave, yeah.
some solo stuff. Maybe you come out and do like his cover of Nothing Compares to You. I love when he did that. Or it's actually a Prince wrote that, but Prince, that's such an amazing cover.
Oh yeah,
it really is.
He has a ton of songs that he just play that's cover tunes, like anybody, like me or Justin or anyone that goes and like just sings covers in a bar or whatever. Sometimes he did so many great covers. He did
I miss that dude.
A lot of Beatles tunes. He has a really good version of A Day in the Life.
Oh, no kidding.
Beatles. Yeah, it's excellent.
I got to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a sad loss, man. When we lost Cornell, I cried that day. I absolutely cried. He was the fabric of my youth, my existence. That's what we were listening to at the after parties, being out at night in the 90s. We were listening to Soundgarden and all that stuff. So.
Well, it's funny because they say that he was one of the godfathers of the Seattle sound there, like when they did, when grunge came out and all that stuff, that he was the guy that all those kids strove to be like when they went out, like Eddie Vedder and stuff. Like that's how he ended up with him. Just, they worshipped him when he was out and when he sang, because he was just incredible,
Yeah, he was the guy. He was the front runner there. He was the first.
For sure.
Soundgarden was the first Seattle band in that era to get signed. They weren't the most successful, the quickest,
right?
But they were the first one.
Yeah, they were the one that brought all the attention to it. Now, Ryan, you did do that show in the past, right? I want to say you had like a Cornell tribute right after he died, correct?
I did. Yeah. So a year after he died, I got called to do actually, it's kind of funny. There's a couple groups on Facebook. Any musician that has like a lot of clout like that probably has a fan page, right? So this group of thousands of people that just love Cornell's music are in this Facebook group, and they organized this really beautiful event in tribute of him on the day that he died in 2018. And I went up and just did an acoustic set, opened the night, and then last July I headlined it with the band.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we're going to do it this past May. May 29th was the date, but obviously, couldn't do it, but they'll get rescheduled and I hope to do it again. But I would really like to do it here.
I'm telling you right now, let's do it.
Are you prepared for the 17 different tunings it takes, Justin? Are you ready?
I will do whatever it takes, man. I'm in. Whatever.
Great.
What was your set list like on that? What songs were you playing?
So the one last year was pretty predictable. It was, I tried to make it as interesting as possible, but like with the band, it was pretty predictable. It was, like Outshined and Fell on Black Days and a lot of the famous Soundgarden. I don't know if we did any Audio Slave. We did Temple the Dog tunes. And then I played a couple songs by myself on piano and sang from his Euphoria Morning album from the late 90s, which is a freaking masterpiece. If you haven't heard that album, it's a masterpiece.
Which one is it?
It's his first solo album called Euphoria Morning.
Okay.
It's dark, but it's really it's musically really interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Definitely, I definitely haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then my solo gig was I couldn't do Outshined on acoustic guitar, so I pretty much stuck Temple of the Dog and a couple of his solo tunes, you know.
Right.
But it's really cool to. I mean, I know people like respect the guy, but it was even cooler to be playing an event where the purpose was to, you know, like remember him. So like everybody there knew, even though like the deep cuts. It was really special.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And one song I always loved from him too is Seasons. That's on the single soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did that. That's a song I did with, I didn't play guitar, but I sang it this past July. That's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. Great stuff, man. Great stuff.
Love it.
Local Music Monday, Justin. Another one in the books, man. I
don't know how we're going to top this, brother. I have no idea how we're going to top this.
I loved it today. I had so much fun. It's great to see you, Ryan, man.
Great to see you, too.
You're out there streaming, too, right? You plug all your streaming platforms that people can find your music on.
Well, if I do ever decide to stream, it'll be on Facebook or Instagram. And,
but you have music platforms as well, right? Spotify or any of that?
Yeah, I'm on Spotify, too. Like the EP that we recorded back in 2016. That's on there. Oh. That's on there.
Down goes Justin.
Down goes
Justin. Down goes Justin.
Stupid.
Oh my God.
Right. Well, that's on Spotify. Yeah, just under my name. You know, all the stuff I do with PMJ that's been recorded like properly is on Spotify, and all the streaming and whatnot's on my Instagram, which is at I am Ryan Quinn. Super easy to remember. Same with Facebook. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome, brother. Justin, we got anybody lined up for next week? I love him.
I don't know, man, but I'm going to get on that soon because I don't know. We got to do something. I don't know how we're going to top Ryan Quinn, man. We got to figure out something, but you know. I
totally enjoyed today's conversation.
We're gonna have to start repeating people because once we're gonna have to start getting bass players in here or something. No offense, but you know.
we'll find somebody, I'm sure. Hey, I know both of you guys are playing this weekend. Plug where you guys are playing.
Go ahead, Ryan.
This week.
Sure. I'm playing tomorrow. Tomorrow for One Jenny's opening outside.
Yes.
So that'll be cool. Me and Dingy.
Nice.
That's all I got.
It's so funny you say that because the Showtime Trio is playing One Jenny on Friday at 7:30 outside.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're excited. Getting back to playing, man. Slowly but surely.
Slowly coming back, man. We'll get back to where it was. And you know what? I think this is going to be a slingshot into even more awesomeness. Honestly,
I hope so.
Especially on the music front in Utica and the 315.
Absolutely.
Hopefully all over the place. But I'm telling you, man, there's so much talent, and everybody doing their live streams and displaying all the talent that we have here in the 315 during this quarantine has been phenomenal. And I would encourage everybody to go out there. Ryan, you get out there and start doing some streaming yourself, pal. I want to
try.
See you out there going live. People would love to see you going live, man. They would love to see it. All you got to do is set up a camera, press play, and you play and do your thing. And don't even worry about the camera. Just do your thing, brother. I would love to see you.
Row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, man, come on. No, you don't. Come on. That's got to be – come on.
Oh, you guys are hilarious. You know, and another time, we'll give a shout out to Tim Moyer one more time for always helping us out. If you guys are on Facebook, please click the share button and help us out there. Like, comment, subscribe, follow all things Disruption Network and Showtime and Poor Tim and Ryan Quinn, of course. So thank you guys for hanging out today. Local Music Monday in the books. Justin, you're rocking, brother.
Love you, brother.
Love
Thanks
you
for
too,
having
man.
me, guys.
Thank you to Todd and thank you to EJA Moving Services. This podcast would not be possible if not for EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When it's time to move and relocate, hit them up, ejamoving.com. They're home of the free boxes. You know these moving services charge you for boxes? I didn't know that. Eddie was telling me that the other day. Like, what balls is that to charge you for boxes? Not only does Eddie not charge you for boxes, but he packs the freaking boxes for you.
Come on.
Like, how awesome is that? He'll pack them for you. He gives you free boxes. He packs the boxes for you. He unpacks them for you. He even puts your items wherever they belong in your house. Eddie's a man. EJAmoving.com. Hit him up when it's time to move and relocate. Todd, you're the man. Thank you so much. Coming up tonight,
Thanks,
no time for nonsense. You guys familiar with Serena Bullis?
Heard the name?
I'm sorry, Sarah Bullis. Sarah Bullis. She is amazing. She's an amazing singer-songwriter from Syracuse, actually, and she's going to be on No Time for Nonsense tonight. More local music talent coming out on the D, awesome. Man. That's what we're doing. Spread the music. What's that?
Right.
Todd, Heather's on tonight too. So what's Heather got going on tonight? Heather, shame on you.
Listen, Z, Todd's playing with his VR. Leave him alone, will you?
Yeah. Shout out to Todd for putting up with us on every Monday and putting up with me every day, man. It's not easy being partners with me. That's for damn sure. So follow us, all things Disruption Network. Follow us, disruptionnetwork.net. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace, people. Later.
Peace.
Bye.